Across the United States, there are neighborhoods whose reputations stretch far beyond their streets. Known for crime, poverty, and hardship, these places have become symbols of struggle, yet also of resilience and survival. In this series, we dive deeper into these notorious neighborhoods, uncovering their history, the forces that shaped them, and the reality of life for those who call them home. This is where history, hardship, and life collide. Welcome to America's most notorious neighborhoods.
This is the land where you gotta earn your shit. You gotta come down here, you gonna have to fight, you gonna have to do something. You gonna have to fit in with them sharks or your ass gonna get ate. You can't just be over here. Ain't no this bitch, you come through this bitch by yourself and ain't got no family, you better be ready to fight, you better be ready to do something. You getting your ass pressed.
Wentworth Gardens, Chicago, Illinois, aka MurdaTown. Wentworth Gardens, located in Chicago's Armour Square community area, includes 344 units and was commissioned in 1945 as the final housing project built to accommodate war industry workers during World War II. Its construction required the demolition of 20 existing structures, including the baseball park where the White Sox played until 1910. During the 1950s, it was once labeled as the best housing community in the city until street gangs took over the buildings. Today, the completely rehabilitated Wentworth Gardens sits just a stone's throw from the White Sox's guaranteed rate field, blending history with modern redevelopment. By the 1970s, Wentworth Gardens began to show signs of neglect as crime and drug activity became more prevalent in the small community. The 1980s and 1990s were particularly difficult, with the projects facing severe deterioration and escalating gang violence, most notably between the Black P-Stones and the Gangster Disciples. The Gangster Disciples dominated most of the buildings in Wentworth in the early 1990s. The project was one of many CHA developments that was regularly swept by Chicago Housing Authority Police Department, as it was a part of Operation Clean Sweep. In October 1996, police arrested 13 drug dealers in a drug sweep. This turmoil contributed to a dangerous reputation, making even a visit to a nearby White Sox game seem risky.
At 9, a man has died after being shot just blocks south of Guaranteed Rate Field. That happened around 6:15 tonight in the 3800 block of South Wentworth Avenue. Investigators say the victim was outside when 3 people approached on foot and began shooting at him, striking him in the side. Right now, nobody's in custody. The shooting comes exactly 1 week after 2 women were wounded by gunfire while inside the stadium during a Sox game. And tonight it's still not clear how they were hurt. They are all expected to be okay.
Wentworth was nicknamed MurdaTown due to a high number of homicides that frequently occurred in the project. Residents blamed CHA for displacing families from the high-rises to Wentworth. Over the years, numerous children and adults have been shot and killed in and around the complex.
That's right, Tanya, and let me just say that 5-year-old little girl was discharged from Comer Children's Hospital. She is resting now at home. Her mother tells me her daughter thinks that she was hit by a firecracker, and the mother doesn't plan on telling her daughter that it was actually a bullet. 5-year-old Cadence Lazenby was in her front yard digging in the dirt with 5 other children when gunfire erupted. Her mother right next to her rushing to get the kids inside.
I was dragging her in the house and she just kept saying, my leg. So I thought it came from me dragging her. But when my husband found out she had the gunshot wound to her leg.
It happened just before 10:40 last night near Pershing and Wells in front of the Wentworth Gardens Chicago Public Housing Complex.
It was like a movie. It happened so quick. Everybody was scattered, like scrambling around.
Police say 2 boys ages 15 and 16 were walking in a group when someone in a dark-colored vehicle fired shots, striking them both. Tiana tells us the group was heading back to the apartment complex from the mobile gas station across the street when shots were fired.
Anybody that goes to that gas station and come over here, male is not safe.
The 15-year-old suffered a gunshot wound to the face and the leg. The 16-year-old was shot 3 times in the leg. Cadence was hit by a stray bullet, her family rushing her to the hospital themselves. A source telling Eyewitness News that none of the victims were intended targets. Tiana says these senseless drive-by shootings have become common here.
Yeah, this was a random car that just drove by. It was nobody there shooting at them. It was just, oh, you know, we see somebody, shoot them.
After the shooting, as police arrived, CPD says a crowd became hostile towards officers, throwing bottles. Police say that happened as they took an 18-year-old into custody near the shooting scene. The man allegedly had a gun in his waistband and was walking aggressively towards police. Meanwhile, Tiana says she plans to move her family out.
We will not be here. I plan on moving before this even happened.
Despite renovations in the 2000s, which reduced the number of units from 422 to 344, Wentworth Gardens continued to experience higher crime rates compared to other neighborhoods. The renovated buildings came equipped with new rehabilitated units and walkways, but lacked a security system which was installed into other active CHA developments. While the situation has improved over time, the legacy of gang violence and criminal activity remains a significant part of the complex.
Yeah, good morning. Now, this shooting happened around 5:30. That's when police were called to the scene. You can see here it's still pretty active. We have multiple police vehicles here as well as officers on the scene. We've counted at least 10 bullet casings in this situation right here. Now, police say that they are still looking for a suspect right now. I do have someone that was actually here and they heard those gunshots. Miss Tayana Fisher, right?
Tayana Frazier.
I'm
yes,
sorry about that.
Quite all right.
Tell me, what did you hear?
All I heard was gunshots. It sounded like it could have been 5, 6, or 7, somewhere along there. I wasn't sure what went on. I knew something wasn't right. I was on the phone with it. I said, I just heard gunshots. It's too early. Neighbor come calling me and telling me what was going on, and it just shocks me. This is not the first killing. We had one a few weeks ago, and my biggest thing is where is everybody? Where is CEO, CHA? Where is Pat Dow? Where's our alderman? And I'm not talking about her assistant. Where are these people? I'm not talking about the police. I don't expect them to do no more of what they've been taught or told to do for us, but they say they've been coming through here. They're not coming through here. Where's the owner of AGB? Why they not down here to talk to us since this is what they do? This is what I'm concerned about. What about us? Who's down here to talk to us about what's going on? Instead of holding phone calls, meet out here with us out in the public. Deal with us out here. I can't do it because I'm not here, but I need my residents, every last one of them, to step up to the plate and do what we have to do, because this ain't my child that has to deal with it. It's each and every one of our kids.
You were telling me it's been at least 4 shootings.
It's been at least 3 or 4 shootings. People that came up killed, yes, and nobody. This is the first time we've seen the news to come down here and address this situation. Nobody's been down here. Did you hear about that?
We're here now.
No, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying nobody's been down here to address the situation. Nobody's been down here to find out what's going on. Nobody's doing no investigating. The police can only do what they want, and CHA got $10 million worth of equipment sitting on all 4 points of a building, and you all don't see nothing, and these cameras got night vision. I know that for a fact. They got night vision. So if they got night vision, tell me why you all are not seeing anything and why security don't have adequate equipment to help them assess any situation that they need to assess. They have the equipment. CHA is not putting security guards with these cameras so they can put people out so it can be detect and deter. You can't sit in no vehicle and monitor. You have to put out foot patrol, and that includes the police. You all want to help us? Get out here on the constant, not where there's a ball game where you're helping Caucasian baseball game patrons that's going to the game. Help the residents here. You're making too much money where it cannot be funneled through this community.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. As you can imagine, a lot of residents here are angry, frustrated with the situation. They're telling us there's been at least 3 or 4 shootings that's happened here. The latest one, again, the scene is right here behind us, with 1 person dead and 2 others are injured in this situation. Of course, we'll keep you updated as we receive more information. We're going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
Notable crimes in Wentworth Gardens. Javon Boyd. On February 24th, 2014, Wentworth Gardens became the scene of a high-profile murder involving 2 rising figures from Chicago's drill rap scene. Clint Massey, better known as Rondo No. 9, and Courtney Ely, known as C-Day, drove to the complex seeking retaliation for an earlier shooting. There, they spotted 29-year-old Javon Boyd sitting in a parked car, waiting for a customer. The pair approached on foot and opened fire multiple times before fleeing. Boyd was rushed to Stroger Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Investigators later tied Massey to the crime through fingerprints left on Boyd's car, as well as surveillance footage. Both men were convicted. Massey, just 17 at the time, was sentenced to 39 years in prison, while Ely, then 19, received a 38-year sentence. MTG triplets. The Ward triplets, known in their neighborhood as G-Mac, G-Devo, and G-Man, grew up side by side in Chicago's Wentworth Gardens, later becoming a part of MTG or MurdaTown gangsters. Once seen as three inseparable brothers with their whole lives ahead of them, their story would soon become one of the most tragic examples of how gang violence claims young lives far too soon. On May 5, 2019, 1 month after the triplets' 15th birthdays, Devin Ward aka G Devo was killed, sadly turning the trio into a duo. About 2:44 a.m., Devin Ward was standing in the courtyard of the Wentworth Gardens buildings in the 3800 block of South Princeton Avenue when someone opened fire, according to Chicago police and the Cook County medical examiners. Devin was hit in the torso and was taken to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead. Less than 2 years later, on April 9, 2021, only 8 days after their 17th birthdays, Davion Ward aka G-Man would be shot and killed in the Wentworth Gardens. On that night, Davion, along with 2 other males, were sitting in a parked vehicle in the 200 block of West 37th Street around 9:45 p.m. when a black Dodge Durango approached their vehicle and stopped. 2 unidentified males got out of the SUV and began shooting at the victim's vehicle. 17-year-old Davion Ward was shot in the back and taken to Stroger Hospital, where he later died. A 16-year-old sustained a graze wound to the head and was initially listed in critical condition before being transported to the University of Chicago Medical Center. A third victim, who was about 18 to 20 years old, was shot in the chest and listed in critical condition before being transported to the University of Chicago Medical Center. Although no suspects were found in either of the murders of the Ward brothers, it is believed that the killers themselves were murdered in retaliation for the killings. The tragic story of the triplets is one that no family wants to face and is a testament to how deadly gang life can be on the streets of Chicago. The triplets leave behind one remaining brother, G-Mac, and a family still grieving over the lives taken too soon.
And I definitely was seeing, like, a lot of the fans wanted me to ask Triplet and all that, like how is being out here and experiencing the loss of your brothers and all that, and, like, just everyday life again?
Well, say, like, I ain't really got no say-so, because I really live this every day to day. So, but at the same time, I got a lot of supporters. And I really like hanging outside with females, going out to eat, and, like, you know, like, I like to have fun, bro. I know they would have liked to be have fun, so I like to have fun, bro, and help my family out. My brother had left a little baby out here, so I helped my niece out. It was really like to have fun, bro.
So how did you get a chance to, like, grieve with that? Because I remember even, like, after that, like, a lot of people was pointing out that, like, you was going back and forth to jail for real. So it's like, did you get a chance to, like, even deal with it? Like, that's like sandbox, birth, all that, like.
I'm still dealing with it, man. Still dealing with it. Like, sleeping together 15 years in the same bed every day. Then there's one of them just missing. Then the other one just coming. You know, I'm still dealing with that shit, man. But at the same time, I don't let my emotions get out here, because a lot of run with that shit and go, you know, and go take that shit to the internet. But at the same time, I'm still dealing with that shit, bro.
MTG 039 aka the MurdaTown Gangsters or 30 Boys have several rivals that add to the constant violence and retaliation shootings. MTG rivals include 757, Geo Drive, 051 Young Money, Touch Money, Jig Dogs, Princeton Mob, 800, and Do It Gang. Wentworth Garden stands as a reminder of how poverty, neglect, and gang rivalries can trap communities in cycles of violence. From its hopeful beginnings as housing for war workers to decades of crime and turmoil, the complex reflects both the struggles of Chicago's public housing and the resilience of those who continue to call it home. Its story is not just about buildings, but about the ongoing fight to break free from the legacy of violence that has shaped it for generations.